not derived, we discussed the basic few properties of spin. So today the first thing that we want to do with spin is to write down the matrices. Okay. So all the 2 by 2 matrices we can write down. Maybe you know or you do not know, that's all right, whatever. So our starting point is S square and SG operator. And we have said that S square commutes with SG, and the spin eigenfunctions are eigenfunctions of these two operators, S square and SG. Okay. So the two functions, the two eigenfunctions, one of them we have called alpha and the other is called beta. What is the definition? Alpha we have defined. So we at this point we are discussing the spin half particle, and our electronic system is one of them. Okay, spin half particle. Or so we define them by the two eigenvalues, a kit like this. So this is my definition of alpha, and this guy is half. So this is always half, there is no need to write, but just to make sure you understand. So this, so the alpha is the eigenstate of SG operator with the eigenvalue plus half, and beta is the eigenfunction of SG operator with the eigenvalue minus half, right? So that means Sj alpha is half H cross by 2 alpha. That's how we understand. Let us understand these four equations correctly. Sg beta is equal to minus H cross by 2. That's how we understand. Okay? And S square alpha is S into root over, sorry, S into S plus 1 H cross square. So half into half plus 1, 3 by 4 H cross square alpha. And S square beta. So what is S square beta? What is S square beta? You can write in the chat box. Let us see how much you have understood. S square beta is how much? What should I write? Who can say? Ashish? Can you share?
Sir, 3 by 4 H bar square beta.
Very good. So, yes, that's right. Thank you. Anybody who has difficulty with this equation should, should try to understand, and maybe you can stop. Okay. So, what we want to know is that now just like the very beginning class, oh my God, this is a horrible mess. Okay, let me see if there is another duster. Just wait a second, I will get another duster from a adjacent class, okay? So please wait. Oh my God. Okay. So the general spin state, how can I define a general spin state? Chi is equal to A alpha plus B beta. Because I have only two states, alpha and beta, so I can write a general state by a linear combination of these two states, right? And we have said that alpha and beta, S square and SG actually correspond to Hermitian operators. So because they are eigenstates of the S square and SG operators, I can use these states to write an arbitrary spin state, right, as a combination of this alpha and beta. So this is my called general spin or general spin state or spinor, right? And what is the notation for alpha and beta? How do I write alpha and beta? Who can say in the matrix form? What is the matrix representation of alpha and beta? What is the matrix representation of alpha and beta? So I will write the chi. Remember in the very first class we said I can describe chi as only A and B. So that is the matrix representation of chi in the representation of alpha and beta, right? With this, so I just write only the coefficients just like the functions in the. So what is my alpha and beta? How are they defined? What is the matrix for alpha? Sujuna, can you say? Who can say? Please write. It is time to understand the basics, not the high-fi stuff. Where is the basic, bro? Where is alpha? How is alpha written? Who can say? Please write. Ashish, can you write? Sujana has
Sir,
left.
alpha will be column
bolo.
matrix 1 0. Sir, alpha will be column matrix 1 0 and beta will be column matrix 0 1.
That's right. So alpha is actually 1 0 and beta is 0 1. That's right. So I can now use this, right? Simple expressions over there to find out the matrices for alpha, all these operators which are S square, Sx, Sg. So let's just let us see if you can work it out. So please work it out, you know. So I can use S square. So these matrices will be, it is understood that all these matrices, which I also did not write Sx, Sy, which also have to be done in the process. So all these matrices will be of 2 by 2. That is obvious because you have two eigenstates. Okay. So I can write, so you can write A, B, C, D. Okay. So this is the matrix representation of S square. S square alpha is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square alpha. This is the equation you have, right? So S square is this, alpha is 3 by 4 H cross square alpha. And I have another equation, S square beta is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square beta, right? So why don't you just work it out? If I have to satisfy this, what are the elements A, B, C, D? Just do the matrix multiplication and find out. You want to do the class? So just work. Please work it out, okay? So I have two equations. S square alpha is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square beta, and I have A, B, C, D. Beta is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square beta. So wherever you have alpha is written, so you write it in the matrix form. So A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and you write 1 0 is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square 1 0, and you have another equation where A B C D 0 1 is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square 0 1. So if you take these two equations, you should be able to find out the values of A, B, C, D. Please tell me what are those. What are those? I hope you are working, okay? बोलो क्या लिखना है यहाँ पे? ABCD का वैल्यूज क्या है? हेलो 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 বলছি একটু এসিটা চালিয়ে দিন এখানে। So what did you get? Okay, A is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square, B is equal to 3 by H cross square, C is equal to D is equal to 0. कुछ गड़बड़ लग रहा है। A B, oh what did I write? A B C D, okay, A B C D, right? A B C D, what did you write? A is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square, that's right. B is equal to also 3 by 4 H cross square. A B C D is equal to 3 by 4 H cross square BC. I think Tahiti, you need to work it out a little better. कुछ गड़बड़ है तुम्हारा. What Somalika has written is correct. Okay, so please check your answer. Okay, how is it? 3 by 4 H cross square 1 0 0 1. That is your matrix. Okay, so now I can just replace these equations for, oh my God, I can replace these equations by S square matrix, sorry, SG matrix, हो गया, S square हो गया. So now I write SZ. Let us work it out for SG. What will happen? SG alpha is equal to H cross, it is already written there. So we can write some other matrix, you know, UV WX, okay, UV WX. So this should be, so those of you who just worked it out, please work it out again, plus H cross by 2 alpha, and this guy will be minus H cross by 2 beta. So that means, so this will be U V W X U V W X. This should be H cross by 2 and minus H cross by 2 beta. With this, I can write, so this is S square. So S square matrix is written. What about SG? Can you write it down? Okay, sir. Okay. SG के साथ क्या हो रहा है? Nobody has worked it out yet. V equal to W is equal to 0. Okay, you first start with the 0. Okay, that's great. And what about u and x? Now, u is equal to x is equal to h cross by t. W is equal to v is equal to 0. These two guys are 0. That's right. And this is u is equal to x is equal to h cross over 2. U v w x. That's right. H cross by 2. But there should be something. This guy is just not. थोड़ा ठीक से देखो सुरंजना. X should be minus. That's right. X should be minus. So these are the two matrices I got. Now the question comes: how do I get the Sx Sy? How do I get the Sx Sy? What do I do? Because I do not have an equation for Sx and Sy like this. Remember? So what do? We need some help. So you cannot simultaneously measure Sx, Sy, Sg along with S square. You can have a grip on only one of the components, which is Sg. But I need to find out the Sx, Sy. How do I find out? Who can answer this question? How do I get S square, Sx and Sy? You need to try to respond. Even if it may not be correct. कुछ तो आइडिया करो, रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व करोगे तुम लोग? Where is the idea? कहां से करेंगे? सुतब्रो, सन्मय, कैसे करेंगे? By using ladder operator. That's a good hint. That's a good hint. Yes, we have, every time I told you in one class, every time you have something to do about x and y components, you always go to the ladder operators. So this time also it is not difficult. So it is. So what is but the starting point is you need to know there is because everything which was applicable for L square and LG operator is equally applicable to the S square and SG operators, right? So I can write these equations S, MS. These equations are exactly same what we wrote for L and ML. It's exactly same. S into S plus 1 minus MS into MS plus 1. So this will take you one step up. So S, the up step is not in S but in MS plus 1 because your S is fixed for the whole particle. There is no way that S can be changed. S is inherent property and that little s is the eigenfunction coming from the S square operator. Nobody can change that. The state is not going to be changed for that, right? So it is MS which can be changed. And S minus operator, S, MS, it will become MS minus 1 is equal to H cross root over S into S plus 1 plus minus MS into MS minus 1. Right. So what I want to do, I want to do the same story. I want to find out what happens to S plus alpha. And how do I find out? Alpha means S is half, MS is plus half. So you put the S and MS values in this state, in this right hand side and tell me what is going on. What should I write? Similarly, you do for S minus. So S plus alpha, S plus beta. You write beta means S plus beta means you put S half, MS minus half. So first do this exercise with half values of S and MS. Tell me what is right side. What should I write in the right hand side? I don't want to do that. So just put the S, wherever you have an S in the right hand side as plus up, and wherever you have an MS, you write plus up. Wherever you have an S, write plus up. Wherever you have an S, MS half, you write plus up. And tell me what is the right hand side giving you. It takes so much time. S6 Suranjana Dam says it is 0. What about others? Mona Lisa, what do you get for the right hand side? Surabhi says 0. Okay. So please do the S plus beta now. So yes, it becomes 0. What about this guy? S plus beta. H cross. H cross. That's only half the answer should be. H cross beta, that's right. S plus, now wait a second. S plus alpha is 0. S plus beta is H cross. You are putting MS is equal to minus half, right? बाकी ठीक से करो. S plus beta is 3/2 H cross. ठीक से करो. S, what about, don't you see that it should be H? Let me first write it down. Oh, you are doing S plus beta. S plus beta, did you work? S plus beta is equal to, it should give you H cross alpha. And S square, sorry, and then S minus alpha. S minus alpha should give you Z, S minus alpha should give you H cross beta. S minus beta should give you 0. These are the 4 equations that you should get. ठीक है? Okay. Now what you do? You for these 4 equations, you now find out the matrix representation of S plus and S minus. Please do that. We are trying to do is as simple as possible. No big stuff. Very simple stuff. So what is the matrix representation of S plus and S minus operators? Again, you write PQRS or something like ABCD and take this S plus and then do this for S minus, you will get the answer. So please do that. What happened to S plus? Most of them are zeros anyway. A, B, C, A, C, A is equal to C is equal to D is equal to what? 0. And then B is equal to H cross. That's right. So I hope you meant A, B, C, D like this. So if you do this A, B, C, D, so you will get H cross 0, 1, 0, 0, right? That is your S plus. And what about S minus? बाकी लोग कर रहे हो क्या नहीं? शिव कुमार, शीतब्रो, तुम लोग कर रहे हो क्या नहीं? You are not writing anything, you are not saying anything. Shanmay, U is equal to V is equal to X is equal to 0 and W is equal to H cross. I believe you meant to say like this. So this is actually यही बोल रहे हो? So Malika, is this what you are saying? Yes, sir. Okay, very good. So these are the 4 matrices. So now this little exercise, it has taken us 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but you know, it has made you extremely independent. For every single spin, you can actually, these 1-2 ideas you can use to write the matrix elements, and you will not be afraid of anything. In our times, we used to be afraid of a lot of things in quantum mechanics. But you can generally, for every single spin, even if you have spin is equal to 1, so you have twice S plus 1 is equal to 3 states. So you can derive 3 by 3 matrices. The procedure will be a little bit lengthy, but you can work it out. There is no difficulty. So now what? I have gotten the S plus and S minus. Then what do I do? My objective was to get Sx and Sy. Never forget the target. So I can use Sx is equal to S plus is equal to Sx plus Isy and S minus is equal to, so I can write Sx is equal to, S plus is equal to Sx plus Isy. That was the premise of your ladder operator, Sx minus Isy. So now that we have written these guys, so you tell me what is Sx and what is Sy. Just take these matrices and tell me by this expression, what is this? I want you to do this and then we'll do it, the remaining portion. Sx is, Sx का matrix representation क्या हो रहा है? Somebody else please write. It doesn't take so much time. रोहन, शिव कुमार बोलो क्या हो रहा है? H cross over 2, 0, 1, 0 and 1, 0, okay? Yeah, I think that is correct. So what about Sy? Nobody else is writing except Suranjana, Somalika and Surabhi. All S. Tahiti wrote 1. Okay, बाकी सब लिखो. Rohan says Sy is equal to minus HA. What is A? minus I by 2 HA. What is HA? Rohan, can you write it clearly? क्लास खत्म हो जाएगा, जल्दी से लिखो. Ashish says, H cross by 2 is fine. H cross by 2 and then 0 minus I 0. Let me see, 0 minus I 0. Yeah, if you meant like this, who wrote 0 minus I? Obilipsa has written correct, 0 H cross by 2, 0 1. Maybe you are also right, those of you, because it depends on the order. So I guess, so it will become H cross by 2, 0 minus I 0. I think some of you have written it correctly. So this is the matrix representation of 4 operators. All the operators are now done, right? So I have written the matrices of all these operators, right? And of course, alpha beta is known to us. So I can now define some other matrices, yes. So I want to write it S is equal to H cross by 2 sigma in this form. Okay. So so I have written it as a vector. So Sx is equal to H by 2 sigma x. Sy is equal to H cross by 2 sigma y. Sg is equal to H cross by 2 sigma z. These are the popular notations. Okay. Where my sigma x is 0, 1, 1, 0. Sigma y is equal to 0 minus I 0, and sigma z is equal to 1, 0, 0, minus 1. And then, so I'll just write Sx, Sy, Sg. So these sigma x, sigma y, sigma g are called Pauli spin matrices. Right? Why we do that? Because there are some interesting commutation relations. Like L square, Lx, Ly. I have told you the क्या बोलते हैं, discussion of angular momentum is actually the discussion of the commutation relations. Every single property comes from the commutation relations. Okay, so there are a lot of them, but we'll just ask you to do a few of them. So first, so these are the simple exercises that you will prove. You will do it in your own. Sigma y, sigma z, twice I, sigma x, okay? And sigma z, sigma x is equal to twice I sigma y. So prove this commutation relations, and also you can prove that sigma x square, very easy to prove. So you just do it yourself. Unit matrix, okay? And then, so there are also anti-commutation relations, The sigma matrices satisfy certain anti-commutation relations. That means AB minus BA is commutation, okay? AB plus BA is anti-commutation, okay? So there are some interesting properties about these guys. So you can prove that sigma x, sigma y is equal to minus sigma y sigma x. So that means the anti-commutator is 0, okay? sigma y, sigma z. You can make it in the plus side, minus sigma z, sigma y, and sigma z, sigma x is equal to minus sigma x, sigma z. You can easily prove this, guys. Right? Many other things will follow from these simple relations, but I think this much is sufficient for the understanding of speed. Our job is not to derive lot of matrix, lot of mathematical equations and lot of hardcore mathematics. We want to understand the physics and chemistry. So this much mathematics is sufficient for us to go to the many electron problem. So now, so all these things that we did, this was relating to the spin of a spin half particle and the corresponding operators and matrices. By this time, you must have gotten an idea that S square and Sx, Sy, Sg, right? These can be understood in the same way as the L square, Lx, Ly, Lg that I have been telling you from the very beginning. But now that and the commutation relations are established, it should be confident in your mind. Okay, so now I go thoda bahut mathematics ho gaya, thoda bahut, we just wrote a few algebraic equations. So now let us get into the physics. Okay, what does it mean? ये सब तो ठीक है, हो गया. अब आगे क्या है? So let us see that. These things can stay. I think in the previous class, I discussed to you that what is the impact of spin on the hydrogen atom, right? Hydrogen atom, I said that wave function which was, sir, what is the physical significance of anti-commutation? Physical significance, these are all mathematical way of looking at things. I do not think there is any significance, but just, algebraic manipulations which make our life easier, because we can use these shorthand notations in future for many purposes.
Sir, like the commutation relation, when two operators satisfy that they have a simultaneous eigenfunction or something, I'm asking, is there any significance like that?
No, as far as not there is, but you should also realize one more thing. I think I missed to tell you one thing, that S square, the S square and Sg, we have discussed that their eigenfunctions, your spin eigenfunctions are eigenfunctions of these operators. Remember, Sx, Sy and S plus S minus, they are also not representing any observable. They are just intermediate things for us. So definitely S plus S minus, when you worked out that, in one of the cases, you saw that S plus actually, when you worked with the alpha function S plus, it actually was returning a beta function. Remember those 4 expressions that we wrote? And similarly, it also happened. S minus gave you sometimes alpha operator back. So certainly they are not satisfying any eigenvalues equations, right? So that is why they are not representing the observable S plus L minus. Similarly, the case for L plus L minus also I have discussed. Okay, so the spin came into the hydrogen atom in the form of wave function becoming doubly degenerate because of the 2 spin eigenfunctions, alpha and beta. So psi NLM, so psi 1s, for example, psi NLML function, which originally you wrote from the Schrodinger equation solution in terms of R and Y, now also has to be multiplied by a spin eigenfunction, chi sigma. I will give the spin coordinate as sigma. So this is YLML theta phi. And on top of this, so this whole thing multiplied by a chi sigma function, that becomes my total orbital. So this orbital is now becoming, I can give another symbol psi n, l, ml. So now if you see that the index which actually is coming into the orbital from here, I have told you that sigma is nothing but the ms. So that is why your final wave function becomes a combination of 4 quantum numbers, n, l, ml and ms. That is how you have gotten the 4 quantum numbers. अभी थोड़ा देर में जाओगे तो और भी quantum numbers हमको मिलेंगे. We already have seen j, j square, etc. But for the hydrogen atom, this was sufficient, n, l, ml, ms. Right? Where did the ms come from? Ms came from the spin. If the ms was not there, what was happening? I had only this part. Was it sufficient to discuss the spectroscopy? No, the lines have become degenerate. The lines have become, the number of lines have increased. Does it connect? Sorry, does it change my energy? Energy doesn't change. The number of levels become double. Right? These are some of the simple basic questions which you should show. For that matter, so if I hydrogen atom, you remember we have done the term symbols. And if you remember, this gave it 2s term. Remember hydrogen 1s2, it gives you twice s term. So 2s term I explained to you, but now you should understand even more clearly. So this is the meaning of 2s term being degenerate. What is happening? So this is one wave function. So that means I have, so this actually has given me 2 wave function, n, l, ml with a plus half of ms. With a plus half of ms, right? I write NLML. Why? Because this is going to be true for every single set of NL, ML quantum numbers, right? That's why it does, whether it is 1s or 2s or 2px, 2py, 2pz, सबके लिए ठीक रहेंगे. So you have a psi. So this is, let us make it a big psi. This is a small psi. So I write NL, ML, right? With r theta phi. I don't want to illustrate that again because it is already understood. तुम लोग सब जानते हो. And there is a spin function which has come with a ms value of half. Right? Ms value of half. So that has given me one state. So this is my one of the states of the 2 degenerate functions. That is my first orbital which has the spin plus up. So this plus up is actually what you have called up spin, right? And then I have another function. So that means now the concept of orbital is coming. अभी तक तुमने बोला था say this is 2px orbital or 2p or it doesn't matter or even 1s. So one electron was staying. One electron has the possibility of becoming up spin or down spin. That means not the up and spin like this, but it can be an eigenfunction of the Sj with half eigenfunction, with half eigenvalue. So in that case, I can call this an alpha. So up spin. So alpha is the mathematical term for up spin state, right? So you can have the electron like this in this home. So orbital is like a home, you know. So in this, the position coordinate is given by r theta phi. But the problem is that this electron, hydrogen atom, one electron can have an ms value of half. So in that case, I can say this is an alpha state. But now that I can have another spin state with the minus half value, so I can write NLML minus half, where my ms is minus half, is the same NLML, exactly same NLML. That means the position coordinate of the 2 electrons is same. That is why I have said that in this orbital, that electrons, depending on how many electrons, so at this point, you suppose that you do not know how many electrons can be put into the orbital. Suppose you are thinking a little bit like 1927. So people did not know that how many electrons can be put up in an orbital. Initially people thought one, then it came to, it was long story, but suppose I do not know. In fact, in the next class we will pretend that we do not know that electrons, how many electrons can be put into the orbital. Okay? At this point we say that 1 electron is good for 1 orbital. But where is this 2 restriction coming into the picture? That we'll see. We have never proved that, right? So we'll prove that. But from here, at least I can say that this electron, because there is a spin factor which is making this degenerate, so I can have another state where my spin eigenfunction corresponds to the ms value of minus r. So that means this is a short name for alpha and this is a short name for beta. So that is the origin of double degeneracy in the ground state of hydrogen, or for that matter any single electron wherever. So you can look at this hydrogen, lithium, sodium, what are those in this column? Lithium, sodium, rubidium, wherever you have one electron, you can have a consideration like this, right? So the electron 1, the only one electron which is staying, so the space coordinates of both these states are same. That is why you have psi NLM r theta phi, psi NLM r theta phi, but they differ in the spin state. In the spin state. So abhi hum karenge usko kaise, why it has to be in the different and what kind of, why it cannot be more than 3, why there are at least 3-4 why questions that you have to address, right? But you can see from here, so if this electron, if this state is so in the ground state of hydrogen, I can write 1s alpha or I can write 1s beta, both giving the same energy. That's how it is double degeneracy, right? And you can see that every single orbital can have this phenomena, but depending on which you can have more, because if you have 2p, so that means 2px के लिए ऐसे एक होगा, 2py के लिए कैसे होगा, 2pz के लिए कैसे होगा. So you can have 6 levels, 6 states, okay? So this is what, and you can see that why it doesn't impact the energy, because your energy psi star h psi, tum jab karoge, psi star h psi, if you take this, so psi star is this guy, psi n l ml, right? So r theta phi, okay? Why it doesn't impact, you can see that. Let us write it down. So suppose you want to do it for alpha omega, right? 1s h psi n l alpha omega. That is what is the meaning of this energy expression, psi star h psi. What will happen? Psi star h psi, you see that because you are Hamiltonian, so this is an operator, it operates on this guy h psi sigma, right? But the beautiful thing is that your h is independent of spin. So this operator has no impact on sigma, right? So what will happen? So you can write psi n l ml r theta phi, r theta phi, alpha omega, just to keep it like that. And then h will operate on psi. So that will give you en psi, you know that by this time, en nml, h psi operating on, h operating on this guy, but the hydrogen atom will give you en this, and this guy remains as such, sigma omega, because it has no impact on h. Now you can break this, you can put this, so make this psi star, this guy becomes star, this becomes simple, there is no star, right? Now what you have to do, you have to do the spin integration and the space integration over the space, over the whole coordinates. So that means dr, I write dr and d omega, right? So what is the meaning of that? You know that for, so I can write the space coordinates separately. So psi n l ml r theta phi star en psi n l ml r theta phi, they are independent, so d tau, right? And you have this alpha star omega, alpha omega, and you have learned that this is a continuous variable, so you have an integration. This is a discrete variable, so you have summation over ms is equal to, so omega, you have summation over only 2 values of omega, so d omega, right? D omega means you have only two sums to do, right? But if alpha and beta are Hermitian, the eigenfunctions of the Hermitian operator, they are also normalized. So that is what is the definition of normalization. Alpha star alpha will give you 1, right? Alpha star alpha will give you 1, and psi n star, En psi n star, this is a constant, you will bring it back En, and psi n star will give you eventually, these are all orthonormal eigensets, so that will also give you 1. So at the end of the day, you see that why energy remain unchanged once you introduce spin into the wave function. Because the Hamiltonian did not have spin. That's why it happens. So the spin doesn't impact the energies as such. Okay? But it will impact the transitions, it will impact every single other things, it will impact how many rooms, how many electrons can stay in a room, so everything will change. हाइड्रोजन एटम एनर्जीज बाकी सब के लिए सब कुछ चेंज हो जाएंगे, सारा दुनिया बदल जाएगा, पीरियोडिक टेबल बदल हो जाएंगे, सब कुछ बदल जाएंगे स्पिन के लिए. So we are supposed to find out how many electrons can stay in how many orbitals. वो सब हम करेंगे, देखते हैं कैसे वो सब restriction कहाँ से आता है. But at least one thing should be clear to you now. N, L, ML quantum number और MS quantum number का जो restriction वो हाइड्रोजन के लिए 4 कैसे आ रहा है, that should be understood. And now that we have elaborated these for hydrogen atom, we need to see that so we really need to we have understood what is a spin orbital, what is a spatial orbital, what is a spin eigenfunction, ये सब हमने देख लिया है. Now what we really have to do is that what happens to a collection of particles, that we have to understand. Collection of particles is not good enough, collection of indistinguishable particles. So that is what actually we want in physics and chemistry. Everywhere you have a collection of indistinguishable particles. So you may be studying some fermionic particles, you may be studying some bosonic particles. Okay? So it doesn't matter whichever you are doing, but you do have a collection of particles which are indistinguishable from each other. So chemistry, all chemical compounds will belong to that, all physical substances will also belong to that. So that means I need to talk more than one particles now, right? With the understanding that, so we'll focus on the collection of particles where each particle has a coordinate. So today is the preliminary idea of coordinates. In the next class, we'll take it further. So every single particle, okay, every single particle will be represented by 2 coordinates. One is the space coordinate, right? And another is the spin coordinate. Spin is not only about electron, spin is with everybody. So wherever we have to talk about particles, we need to talk about 2 coordinates. One is the space coordinate and spin coordinates. So space coordinate is represented by R, spin coordinate is represented by sigma, and space spin common jointly represented by X. So this is the notation we are going to talk. So now onwards, whenever we say orbital, that means it is a spin orbital combined together. Now when we say the position, the 2 electrons position, this kind of statements will come up. The particle exchanges. What is the meaning? So suppose this is particle 1, this is particle 2. What is the meaning of exchange? Right? It's a very important concept. Very simple, but you have to understand it clearly. Exchange means this particle goes to this particle comes to this. That means when you say this particle coordinates become P2, that means if this was represented by X1, that means within space R and certain sigma. So I can call it R and sigma, and this guy was labeled by R2 coordinate with certain sigma 2. Say suppose sigma 1, sigma 2. Right? So this is the shorthand for X2 and this is the shorthand for X1. So when the exchange happens, these particles coordinates becomes P2 and these particles coordinates become P1. That is what is the mixing. So it is not only R1 or R2, it must be both together. So every time we say exchange, exchange is a very important concept which has to be discussed in the next class. So there will be an operator corresponding to the exchange. That means what you will do. So suppose I have a function of x1, x2, x3. This is a very standard notation. What is the meaning of this? Suppose this psi. So I have the psi, the wave function of a collection of identical particles whose coordinates are represented by x1, x2, x3 up to xn. That means these particles, this coordinate is represented by the space r and sigma. जब तक तुम दोनों का बात नहीं कर रहे हो वो correct नहीं है. All theories will be understood on the basis of this simple thing. So I have a collection of n particles whose position and space coordinates are represented by x. The particle 1 has x1, these 2, these 3, n particles has x. So every particle has a space coordinate and also a spin coordinate. It may be either alpha or it may be beta. Is that clear? So in the next class, we have to understand what are the conditions on this side. You have already read a lot of things about wave function. Wave function must be continuous, normalized, orthonormal, but we also have to have certain other conditions in the wave function of a collection of particles. Okay? So in the next class, we will discuss the conditions on the wave function. Okay? So with this, we will stop today, but I have to make an announcement. In the Monday's class, I am not very sure if I will do the class, but I will confirm in the WhatsApp. Okay? So if I am not able to do the Monday's class, we will do it in some other time. But your Thursday's examination remains as it is. And Wednesday's class will also take place. Okay? But Monday's class, as of now, it is no. If I do it, I will tell you yes. I will write in the WhatsApp. Is that clear? Okay. So with this, we'll stop today and I see you later.